Hello, good evening, and welcome to Is It Fast Live, the weekly show where we run around our headquarters and handpick the stories from the world of cars, motorsport, and everything that goes quickly in between to bring you some of our favourite stories from the week. And it has been quite an eclectic week. So what are you in store for this evening? Well, if you're into touring cars and you're into watching them go quickly, congratulations, there's a brand new touring car in the UK scene. Motorsport season well and truly has started. Formula E continues and Extreme E is making a reappearance this weekend. The Formula One teams, well, they are really starting to get into their stride as they show off their brand new clothes. We don't know how quick they go, but we know how smart they're going to look when they're doing it. Genesis, no, not the fantastic band off of the 70s and 80s. The car manufacturer are back with a brand new track that goes on electric power alone. Of course, we talk about watches, and we have a finally section that's an oldie, but it's a goodie. Tune into Is It Fast Live every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. GMT. You are welcome.
And I am Other Stu, delighted to be back on this weekly Is It Fast podcast. Now, apparently, Stu, I don't know if you know this, there was a big American football game at the weekend. American football, egg, hand, or shoulder pad rugby, as it's more commonly called. The LA Rams, Los Angeles, for those that don't get to travel that much, defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 20-23. And this was to win the World Championship Super Duper Bowl. Now, many bookies probably would have given you great odds on a sheep to beat a tiger, but there you go. And it is a World Championships, as long as only one country is allowed to submit entrants. Bring back the Scottish Claymores is what I say. But did you know that until 1914, in another American sport competition, ice hockey, almost any other team in the league could challenge the current holders to the Stanley Cup, which looks like a big silver milk churn at any point of the season, and kind of force this de facto championship. Now, I'm not going to slag this that much because this is how Scotland became the world championships and the world champions in 1967. But can you imagine this in motorsport? Yeah, Lando Norris just beat Max Verstappen in the first race. He's now world F1 champion. That would be brilliant. Now, in most sports in the world, you do get a clean slate at the start of each season or the campaign, except golf, where the golf rankings in the world kind of roll over every week. And I really don't understand that. Now, Stu, I've seen your driving at golf and in a car, and it's really difficult to know which of the two is more terrifying. And on that note, welcome to Is It Fast? It's 7 p.m. It's a Wednesday. Must be time for Is It Fast.
Yes, 50 million people tune into the Super Bowl, compared to 1.1 billion that tune into the World Cup final. But I shall let people decide which one is the bigger sport. But there we have it. But we are here to talk about cars and motorsport. And if you're American, that's something you can get on board with. But we start with the world of touring cars. Now, touring cars, for those that don't know, have got a number of different disciplines that come under the bracket or umbrella of racing. Touring cars here in the UK, you're going to think of British Touring Car Championship, most probably, but around the rest of the world, so just jumping on your Super Bowl theme there, the actual Touring Car Championship is slightly more wide-reaching, and it comes under the banner of TCR, which stands for Touring Car Racing. It's really quite inventive. But this chap that you're looking at here, if you are watching us, this chap is Lewis Kent, long-time friend of the show. He is the double UK winning TCR champion, and he's got a brand new motor. He has brought himself to the championship a Hyundai Veloster N TCR. It is brand spanking news, come out of the Hyundai factory in Germany, or as they call Germany in Germany, Deutschland. And it is Quite well known in the touring car scene from the United States, where it has raced successfully for the last few years, winning pretty much everything that it has entered for, mainly in the endurance categories at IMSA, which is quite exciting. But this is the first time that a Velastar is going to be competing in a TCR championship in Europe. Now, we did release a video of Lewis receiving this vehicle and testing it for the very first time at Brands Hatch in Kent last week. Do make sure that you head over and watch that video on your social media platform of choice. We were corrected in the comments where I said it was the very first time this is raced anywhere in Europe. Live on the video. Turns out it's raced a bit in Germany, but whatever. Nobody cares about that. It was in the VLN, and as amazing as that championship is, it's not a TCR specific championship, which was the point apparently I was trying to make. So here we have it. A very good deal. I am trusted with the information that was handed to Lewis by Hyundai, which is why he's managed to get it brand new. And he will be challenging for his third consecutive TCR UK crown behind the wheel of this Velastar TCR N machine.
Oh, no.
Great,
that Velastar, what a beautiful car. Look at the lines on it. And by God, she is fast. And let's be fair, Hyundai are not stupid. They've given it to the champ. He is going to be able to get the best performance out of it. Now, the team must have got a great deal. They got a buy one, get one free, I believe, because Bradley Kent also got one. Now, you have a younger brother, and it's a thing. Like, if you get an ice cream, he gets an ice cream. You get a new pair of shoes, he gets a new pair of shoes. He gets a new high-performance fast racing car. He has to get one. That's brilliant parenting. You've got to say it's phenomenal. I was very, very jealous that you got to go and see Lewis take out for the first time. From the footage available on the website, it's mighty impressive seeing that kind of going round Brands Hatch. Fantastic. Really is. Look forward to the season starting.
Yes. It's pretty slippery. So he was already in his first test taking a good 9/10 off of his best, which is pretty impressive considering it was the first time he had ever driven one, really. So that is impressive. But when it comes down to the team, yes, it is now a fleet of Hyundais. So Sam is joining in Lewis's old i30N. Bradley is back. So yes, Lewis's little brother, the sibling rivalry is continuing for another season. But will he beat him? This is the big thing. But the TCR UK, fantastic championship. Do make sure that you watch it. We will be covering bits and bobs as the year progresses, the season starting in support of the British GT, which is quite fun. So the first two rounds of the British GT will have the TCR UK Championship alongside it, which is fantastic news for motorsport fans absolutely everywhere. But do tell us in the comments, do you, I'm going to feel like Chris Tarrant now, A, Hyundai, B, lawnmower. Do you rate the Velastar? Have you seen it racing in the United States of America? Do you think that it is going to do Lewis Kent any favours? Or are you excited about all the other new cars that are joining the TCR UK grid this year as well, which we will undoubtedly talk about? But it is going to be one heck of a season for Lewis and his entire team. And thank you again to Lewis and of Essex and Kent Motorsport for having us down. They've been incredibly good sports when we hang around and basically just get in the way and poke stuff and ask what it does. As we accurately noticed that it did in fact have an engine, which we pointed out on camera. It never made the final edit, but I went, oh, look, it's got an engine. And everyone looked at me like I was mental. So, Lewis Kent, will he be TCR UK champion for a third year in a row? Tell us what you think in the comments.
The question that all petrol heads love to ask, c'est rapide? Is it fast? Ist schnell?
Now we're entering that part of the year where the motorsport championships around the world are starting to rev into action. Of course, the ones that run on electric power don't necessarily rev; they more into action. But I still think that's pretty cool. So last weekend, if you missed it, Formula E was back for its second weekend in Mexico. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
El Ciudad de Mexico, the city of Mexico City, played host to a couple of rounds of Formula E. And Formula E did not disappoint. The championship has a bit of a reputation of throwing up interesting results and making it very tight throughout the season. And we saw some successes there. So Pascal Wehrlein led home Andre Lotterer in a historic 1-2 for Porsche, which is pretty cool. Porsche had a horrendous time out in Saudi Arabia, but they've made up for it this time around at the Mexico City E-Prix, which was fantastic. The first victories for Formula E in the World Championship, which was great. And also, just a little nod to the chap that finished third there, Verne, who is an ex-Formula E World Champion, driving for DS De Cheetah, which is my A, favourite team, not that anybody cares, and B, one of my favourite branded teams in motorsport in the world. So I quite enjoy that. So there you go. All pretty good. Did you manage to catch any of the Formula E?
I was very lucky. Yes, I was able to see some of it. Fantastic with the 1-2 for the Takura Porsche team. They were able to go across the checkered flag, 9 seconds in hand on the rest of the field. So they were able to soak up the atmosphere. Tens of thousands of people packed into that brilliant, is it Foro Sol Stadium? What a brilliant racetrack that really is. So they were able to kind of almost tour across that finish line as well. Now, obviously, we're right at the start of the season. This is only the third and fourth rounds of it, but nice and tight already. We've already got Morata still just leading the way, Nick de Vries below it, but this puts the two guys from the weekend right up in contention.
Yeah.
Semi annoying though, I would say. Formula E, we've now got another bit of a wait for rounds 4 and 5. It's the 9th and the 10th of April, but you're going to make it up to me, Stu, because it gives you plenty of time, because you're going to take me to Rome in Italy to see it, aren't you?
Yes.
That's the rumour I heard. Yeah,
that is the rumour. After the paparazzi caught us away together on Valentine's Day, for reasons we can't talk about just yet.
Oh, we can't just yet.
I know. But make sure that you do follow us on your social media platform of choice. If you're tuned in, whether you're watching, whether you're listening, because we've gone away and done something a little naughty, which is, a lot of people did that over Valentine's weekend. I get it. But we did something proper ground-shakingly naughty. But we're not.
And we filmed it.
And we filmed it. We did. We did film it. But you do need to make sure that you follow us on your social media platform of choice. This is something you are not going to want to miss. Comes out at the beginning of April. It is earth-shatteringly. Look at the state of me. I'm still recovering from what we did. You have a lot to answer for, even though I think it was actually my idea. But make sure you do follow us on your social media platform of choice not to miss that. I cannot understate how monumental it is that you're going to want to watch it.
We really do need to get an Is It Fast safe word. Let's be fair. for future endeavours of this kind of nature.
I think you're probably right. But yes, we've got a little bit of a wait for Formula E comes back. It is heading to Rome, one of the best races on the calendar. But don't worry, because while there is a big gap, there is other motorsport that you can watch. And I don't know why my voice went very high there. Keeping the electric theme going, and in fact, the same chap that came up with it, Alejandro Agag, he came up with Extreme E last year, and it's back for its second season, and it kicks off this weekend. It is going to the futuristic city of Neom in Saudi Arabia. So for those who do not know, Extreme E is the all-electric cross-country all-terrain championship with teams that are almost more famous than the sites that they visit around the world. They do zoom about the world, raising awareness for environmental issues as they go. And this year they are starting in Saudi Arabia, the new city of Neom. They're doing it because they're getting paid. They're doing it because they are bringing awareness to the impending climate crisis. So, Extreme E. Last year was obviously its inaugural season. It's kicking off again this weekend. I'm quite excited.
Oh, I love Extreme E. From what they were able to kind of show us last season, and what a brilliant setting this is going to be. The Desert X Prix is what they're calling it. Absolutely phenomenal. As well, so many variables in terms of the surface, the sand conditions out there. I'm not going to get really nerdy right now, but there's lots of different types of sand. There's soft sand, there's rock sand, all this kind of thing. So this kind of brings into the... Stop looking at me like that.
No,
I know this doesn't...
Isn't that a song by the Police?
What? Don't stand so close to me.
Oh, no, I thought it was rock sand.
Ah.
Don't stand so close to me, though. You got me
Thank
out.
you. And for more 80s music knowledge, please follow us at Fast on all of our social media platforms. Right. Anyway, no. But it's all about getting the tactics right as well, which is always something that really interests me when it comes to motorsport, whatever the car, whatever the surface that they're driving on. As well, outside temperatures varying as well. There's going to be things like obstacles. They might as well chuck in sand people, Tuscan Raiders, to shoot at them as they're going through this. This is how awesome this actually is. And as well, it makes overtaking really, really difficult. So we're in for a great weekend out there. I think it's just going to be, super racing ahead of us.
Yeah, I think so. We'll talk about it more when the event actually happens. But yes, it's very exciting. I'm glad it's getting quite a bit of traction and quite a lot of attention. But yeah, tell us in the comments. Did you like the Extreme E Championship last year? Was it a bit of you? Were you interested in the fact that the team dynamics, obviously the changes that the different climates obviously offer as a real competitive, I wouldn't say issue, but certainly if you might find that you're really good at driving on sand, not so good at driving on snow, well, guess what? This is what happens when you're a driver in the Extreme E or a team in the Extreme E. But do tell us in the comments, what did you think of the championship last year? What do you think is going to happen in the championship this year? And is Sting better on his own or as part of the police?
And now, some more stuff from Is It Fast. Yay!
The world of motorsport, she keeps on a spinning, and no sooner had we left the world of Formula One behind, and let's be honest, it's been a pretty shocking end to last season, whether you agree with it or whether you don't. But this season is already upon us. So not only do we hear this week that the Drive to Survive series on Netflix is back on March the 11th. Netflix are not paying us to say that. Feel free to send us a check. But they've started revealing the liveries of the F1 cars. Lots of people have lots of things to say about it. Lots of those people have got an Is It Fast badge. So make sure that you do head over to the website to read of all the latest analysis and information about the Formula One releases. We've got a number of incredible writers that are spewing their words of wisdom all over our digital pages in order for you at home to learn more about the championships you love and the teams that you're interested in. But liveries are interesting because they're the pretty side of racing, and frankly, the side of racing I understand the most. So we've seen Aston Martin, Williams that we're showing on the screen right now, which is my favourite, which is why it's up there. Mercedes is coming soon. Red Bull, they released theirs. Alpha Tauri have released theirs as well. And I'm sure there's another one that I've completely and totally forgotten. But it's quite exciting because there's a whole new car to go with it as well.
Massively so, yeah. New shaped cars definitely deserve a new paint job. I will point out that people complain when football teams change their shirts every year. I'm willing to bet this is a bit more expensive. But F1's always going to be about the spectacular. It is the visual So getting the paint job, the liveries right is so important.
Hmm.
Some of the ones out there doing the rounds, it's quite easy to get mixed up between what is real, what is a concept, what is fans art out there as well. But it just again shows the passion that people have out there. And how often do you say, "Oh, that's actually the fans' one is actually better than the one that they've actually come out with as well?"
Crazy.
My
Right?
favourites, I've got to say, obviously, I do like the Williams one as well. But for me, Aston Martin, really big fan of that one, and
Fair one.
Team Haas as well.
Yes, Haas. That was the one I forgot.
Yeah, Haas. It
Yes.
looks a little bit Russian, but I'm willing to let that slide.
Yeah,
Well,
funny
we'll
that.
test the petrol afterwards to make sure that there's no substances in there that shouldn't be there.
Yeah. Less said about Russia at the moment, the better. If we win, we love it. If they don't, anyway, whatever. But yes, absolutely. We're yet to see what kind of impact it all has on the actual racing, the change of design. There's lots and lots of rumors out there at the moment, out of respect for designers as well, and all the teams that have worked really, really hard on the design and the color schemes and the liveries. We are not showing the leaked photos of the Ferrari F1 runner for this year. You will not find it anywhere on Is It Fast. As a designer, it takes a lot of time and effort. And the last thing you want to do is have it leaked early when it's not in its best light. So we shall not be showing the official Ferrari red livery. I can confirm it is red.
Spoilers.
I know. Until it is ready to do so. Seems to be a lot of leaks this year, lots of different things. So shame on you, naughty people. But it's going to be really interesting. All the rumors that the Alpine Renault engine is severely underpowered, which I know they're absolutely creaming themselves about at the moment, as it's just going to be a nightmare for them. But of all the F1 liveries, what is your favourite? Stu there saying that one of his favourites is Haas. I actually agree with him.
Whoa.
I know, I quite like it. It kind of looks a bit like a fab ice lolly. The favourite, however, of mine is the Williams. But tell us, are you excited about the 2022 Formula One season coming back to your television screens? If you are, of course, lucky enough to pay for Sky Sports F1 in the UK. Or have you enjoyed the liveries, or are you waiting for Mercedes? Like everybody. Rumours abound that it's going to go silver again. I know.
Yeah, that's what you want to see.
Exactly. Mercedes, it's all about being silver, and Lewis has confirmed he's back, and it's all super stuff. We could talk about it.
Silver last year.
I mean, but yes. I wouldn't put it past Toto Wolff to colour the car where you got silver medal, mate. There you go. Now you go and get it gold. And will Lewis retire if he wins his 8th? If he wins the Ocho, will he retire? Such a big question. I think he probably will, but what do I know?
And I want to say as well, big shout out to our writer Danny, who did a fantastic article for us on the F1 liveries as well. Go and check them out online. Thank you.
Please do. Head to http. Head to www.isitfast.co.uk/F1. No. Head to the Is It Fast. If you Google Is It Fast, we're the first thing that comes up because our SEO department are fantastic. And away you go. Fill your boots, not just the articles about F1, but everything that we do. But yes, Danny's article, well done, sir. Very, very good indeed.
You're tuned in to Is It Fast? And we're live, which is why it's so bad.
Bit mean of myself there. We're moving across to the world of electric cars. But before I do that, if you are watching or listening to us, please do tell us how you're feeling today. What are you excited about the most of when we talk about motorsport? We would love to hear from you. We have a couple of shows coming up. We would love to know what your favorite motorsport discipline is and why. We have a number of these coming up over the next few weeks and months where we are going to be asking you questions about your motorsport and automotive history because we love to share your stories. But Talking of sharing stories and what we've got going on here in the Sudat studio, we have news from Genesis. Now, if you haven't heard of Genesis, make sure you do head to our YouTube channel where I was lucky enough to drive a Genesis. I drove two Genesi, actually. That sounds remarkably close to a word that we shouldn't say. But Genesis are the top end, the premium manufacturer that are part of the Kia and Hyundai group. Genesis are coming to Europe in a big, big way. And this is the first offering from their electric range. So this is the Genesis GV60. And it is basically here to nick sales from the Skoda Enyaq IV Coupe. So a couple of very interesting things about this GV60. First of all, it is obviously electric, but because it is on the same platform as the Kia EV6 and the Hyundai Ioniq 5, it has got similar statistics. So 73 kilowatt battery is standard. We know it's going to be a couple of variants in there with ranging between 222 brake horsepower single motor, rear wheel drive, long range, which is claimed it will get 280 miles on a charge. But you can get an all wheel drive where they chuck another 99 brake horsepower motor on the front axle for combined 314 brake horsepower output. So it'll be pretty nippy. It's going to be pretty expensive. We reckon it's going to be in line with the Ioniq 5 and the EV6, probably nearer the top end of the EV6. So it could be anywhere from between £37,000 and £52,000, I suggest. I just want to draw your attention to a couple of design cues. If you are listening to this, probably worth getting yourself a mobile telephone device and Googling the GV60 just to have a look at it, or alternatively, put that down, jump onto YouTube and watch it live with us. The back pillar has got a little thunderbolt. Apparently, all electric Genesis cars from here on in will have a little electric thunderbolt there, which stands for obviously the fact that it is electric, but also the fact that it comes with power. So that is pretty good. Obviously, it's got the trademark Genesis double front end and headlights at the front, which I absolutely love. And the interior is pretty snazzy. It's got a little rollerball inside, which turns over. We will be releasing footage of that later on. It is absolutely stunning. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Genesis, I love Genesis in general. Every time a Genesis ad comes on the TV, I do bore everyone a bit about the fact that I drove them. And I think they're wicked. Honestly, I think they're really, really good. I'm really glad that all Genesis will be electric from 2025, apparently. So that is that. The Genesis GV60. Thoughts on the back of a postcard, please?
Oh, well, you know what? In a week where Prince Andrew's handed out money to people he's apparently never met, I was genuinely wondering how I was going to spend my cut. This is beautiful. To me, Genesis is to Hyundai what Lexus is to Toyota. It's posher, it's plusher, gives you a little bit more of an offshoot eye as well. And it's up there for me to challenge with the BMWs and the Audis as well. Certainly different in its appearance. I love the aerodynamics of it from the bodywork. You see it great in the profile there. But from the front view, it does look a little bit like a confused grasshopper. But quite funky, stylish. It looks really good in the yellow and black colour scheme. Thank you for pointing out the lightning bolt. I totally missed that. So, well, see, you're the designer there
apparently.
As well.
So I said earlier. Don't know why.
But the interior, that black leather effect, yellow trim on the seats, love the gear selector. Phenomenal. Yes. From the driver's point of view as well, it looks really impressive. This infotainment dashboard system is very tricksy, kind of full of digital reading advantages and assistance that I know we're talking about the pricing scale for it, but some of the stuff they're talking about, you'd almost expect it in a car, again, that financial level above. It's going to have a fingerprint scanner in it, facial recognition. These are all great touches that are going to be on offer for it. It will attract buyers for there because the Genesis range are brilliant for offering extended warranty, after-sales support, things like that, that some of the more prestigious manufacturers out there aren't great at being forthcoming with their customers. This car is beautiful. I like it. Quite nice and futuristic. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I would actually take it in sometimes what I would almost call a garish yellow color. I think that looks beautiful on screen right now.
Yeah. I think that's cool. I think that color is Sao Paulo yellow. That's I think. Correct me, those fans of Genesis, or those that read the press junket properly. Yes, I think Genesis are on a hiding to something. I absolutely loved the G80 and the G70, which are combustion engine Genesis. They're the saloon and the massive SUV. So basically, the two cars that I would have. But this electric offering, I'm inching closer and closer and closer to putting an order in for an electric car. I think it's coming soon. This car is got to be on the list. It's very. I think there's something in there for everybody. I think the tech is just enough. I don't think it's obstructive. I don't think it's going to be any different to the rest of the Genesis range massively. The quality of the interior, both in terms of finish, materials, and ergonomics, so how you use it when you drive, essentially, top bloody notch. Great job all round. I think it's a smashing first EV from Genesis. The EV6 from Kia and the Ioniq 5 from Hyundai, they led the way. The underpinnings of those vehicles are fantastic. And so well done to Genesis. But tell us, is this going to be the car that you go and buy as your first EV? Because I'm getting sorely tempted. I'll be honest. I think it's great. But have you got an EV already? Are you already looking at your next EV if you're already looking at an EV? And is Genesis on your list of vehicles in that case? Because I'll tell you what, if it isn't, it probably should be. Genesis leading the way, smashing the mold, and doing a great, great job all round, if I say so myself. And I do.
We're about to talk about watches on Is It Fast?
That's right. Every single week, we scour the internet to go and find the latest from the world of watches, or sometimes things that go in your wrist that could be described as watches. And this week, because royalty have been in the news for a little while, we thought, well, what's royal? What's more royal than Knights of the Round Table? And the answer is nothing. So this week, we bring you news from Roger Dubuis. This is Roger Dubuis' Knights of the Round Table. It is handcrafted out of precious material. But what you can really notice there is a knight for every single hour of the day. I swing back and forth between enjoying this and hating this. It is quite expensive. There's only going to be 28 of these ever made. If I had the money, and I'm going to ask you to share the price in a moment, I would buy it. This is incredible. Each of the little knights are doing something different. It looks like, oh man, it's so good. It's expensive though, isn't it?
It is a bit expensive. Yeah, it's like if Warhammer made watches. A flick between it being very stunning to complete and utter ugly mess at the same time. It's quite a unique trick. Extremely intricate details on the figuring. But you also have little men living in your watch. Where do you move from being classy to childish? The staggered platform of the watch face is very, very nice, but I'm not a fan of the rose gold. I do like the dial, but it's the brushed effect sells it a little bit for me as well. The automatic mechanical movements are just as stunning as you would expect from Roger Dubuis, but it gives you a good 48-hour power reserve as well.
Our favourite type of power reserve.
Always, exactly. I couldn't help think of the Monty Python song from Holy Grail, as that's what I'd be singing when the men in white coats came to take me away if I was to actually kind of buy this watch. The watch is either from a dodgy market bazaar or the most exclusive of exclusive watch shops where they would have to weigh your wallet before you even cross the threshold. I know how much it is. We've obviously been teasing how much it is. Am I going to shock everyone to the core, or would you like to do it, Stu?
Do you know what? Fire away.
Thank you very much. Prices do seem to differ, I've got to be honest, but the price on their website was £307,000.
Whoa, mate.
They are limited to 28. There's billionaires out there that are clearly mental.
That's a bit expensive directly from Roger Dubuis. I got it in Singapore dollars.
Oh, there you go. Well, I went
430,000 Singapore dollars, which is about £262,000 at the moment. So if you go to Singapore, you might get a discount, mate.
Oh, so there you go.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure why I got it.
Always shop around when you're
Always
looking for watches that are more expensive than your house.
Yeah. It's quite funny, isn't it? Because you talk about childish and classy, and where is the line? If we knew the answer to that, we'd probably get shouted at less by everybody we know. But I think it's great, man. I really want one. I'm never going to have one.
No.
And if you got this, like you say, off a market stall or some sort of interesting indoor market or bazaar, you would look classless. It would look great with a no fear hoodie, but it really. I really like it. I think it's a really clever thing.
You mentioned the knights, the one for each position of the clock, are all doing different things. I think at least 3 of them are laughing at you for this opinion. Got to be honest, mate.
Mate, I really like it. I think it's cracking. I think you'd have to have run out of stuff to spend your money on.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. You'd have to be like, what do I do now? They sell a watch with little knights in it. All right, yeah, I'm down.
Okay, no, you've got my interest. Yeah.
I do get it. It's not, I'm not rushing out to get this as the only watch in my collection. But I think overall, I quite like it. I think if you took the knights out, you'd buy it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think that what's putting me off. Oh, sorry, Roger, you've not got a sale here.
27, one left to sell now that Stuart's not getting one. Oh, dearie me, what will he do? Yeah, fair enough. But do tell us what you think. Are you going to spend £307,000 on a watch with 12 mythical knights within, or are you a fan? I think it speaks for itself. It's definitely a yes from me and a no from other Stu.
Tune into Is It Fast live every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. GMT. You are welcome.
Crying shame, because I really, really like it. But I'm never going to have one unless I rob one.
Oh, that's possible. Yeah, if I saw somebody on holiday with one, even if you think it might be a fake, however, if it's not a fake, I've not got a mortgage anymore. I mean, that'd be fair. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it's good to know that we go straight to theft. That's good to know the quality of your podcasters, everybody. But there we have it.
How quick are they willing to break the law this week?
Yeah. I mean, we're always reaching new heights. But it is getting to the end of the show, and every single week we like to we like to end on just a caveat here. I seldomly pick these. We like to end on something a little bit different. Sometimes it's naked dudes walking into a petrol station. And buying their petrol in Australia. Sometimes it's nice stories like Millie from the other week, who was saved by a sausage being dangled from a hot dog. But this week, it's a similar vein, but replace drone with helicopter and sausage with human being. And you get yourself, you may have seen this before, this is a couple of years old, but the old ones are the best, the classics are the best. Poor woman here, needed rescuing. Stu, you thought this would be advisable to share. This is from The Guardian, by the way.
Yeah, so this is very high-class, lowbrow humour as well. Yes, unfortunately, this helicopter had come to rescue a woman who even worse to point out, she's 74-year-old. And somehow the helicopter, I'm not very good at physics, but kind of loses control when they are airlifting this poor woman, and the flatbed that she is on starts spinning at great speeds, and causing a lot of discomfort for this poor woman. Now, I know this is very serious, but I have never laughed so much in my life. This is genuinely cracking me up. If you actually watch the footage, you can hear the pilot at some point go, "Yep, definitely passed out by now," and she starts spinning even faster. The only way this could have actually have been better if they'd comically hit her off a cactus as they were flying off. No, there's a lot of people that have been saying, "Oh, you wouldn't laugh if it was a member of your family or female." It's like, yeah, you do not know me that well. Yeah, but other than that, Granny, how was your? Yeah, other than that, Granny, how was your hike? Basically, this helicopter managed to turn a 74-year-old into a fidget spinner, which is.
I've got to say, it's impossible not to laugh. I mean, she survived, she recovered, everything was fine. But at the same time, I mean, I've seen this 100 times, okay? And I knew it was coming up this week, but I still laugh when it comes on because it is, you can just imagine. I mean, that is terrible. Terrifying, death-defying.
It's the speed she gets to.
I know, she's absolutely going at it.
I would point out, though, if you turn your phone upside down, it is a brilliant story of an old woman bravely saving a helicopter.
That's true. That's true. Which is really the point of anything we do, which is perspective. Just remember that. But yes, the story a couple of years ago now, but still great, of the poor lady who was spinning uncontrollably, showing off underneath a helicopter whilst attempting to be rescued. It is absolutely horrendous. But feel free to write in and complain about this. It's not the worst thing that's been on the news this week. So there you go. We thought we can't actually show any real news because it's more satirical than what we can actually show you. So there we have it. We finished this week on I don't know what her name is. Should we call her Spinning Sheila? I don't know. No. But thank you very much to The Guardian there for supplying us with that. I know you're going to tag it later. Thanks, algorithm.
I would also say as well, positive side of that story, she passed her NASA astronaut training. So
exactly. We knew exactly how many G's she could take at that point, which is exactly 4 or 5 too many. But it does, of course, mean that as we watch the woman spinning out of control, it does mean that the show has spun itself into the ground for another week. Thank you very much for watching and or listening from wherever you are in the world. We do appreciate each and every one of you, whether you are watching or listening live or after the fact, warming us up like a good microwave meal. We thank you. Make sure you do follow us on your social media platform of choice in order not just to keep up with what I think is quickly turning into some sort of version of the Benny Hill Show, but also the latest news from the world of automotive and motorsport from wherever you are, along with all the other wonderful shows that we have on Is It Fast TV, Is It Fast YouTube channel, Is It Fast Facebook's page, and of course our website where we mix the wonderful with the truly talented. Make sure you do keep up with all of our writers.
Tune into Is It Fast live every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. GMT. You are welcome.
And that is It Fast podcast for another week. Now remember, kids, money may not buy happiness, but I'd rather cry in the back of a Jaguar than on a bus.